Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Faiz Irfan bin Azmi, and thank you for the everyone. I'm all my friend and Dr. Amin, especially for coming today, and I'm looking forward to talking with you today about a reservation system chain transport Sdn Bhd. Ladies and gentlemen, our company had four main member. Firstly, which is me. My name is Muhammad Faiz Irfan bin Azmi, and then next is Mukhtar Abdul Karim Sani. He was a pro- project manager, and before he also can handle the biggest project at the UK. Next, Muhammad Rizdu Jamal Riza. He was an amazing person, and then he can analyze the system. And then the lastly, he was a very good person in a software testing, which is Amirul Aiman bin Nur Azman. He was testing engineering. Okay, and then next we continue with introduction. The reservation system of the chain transport company is a system created to the age the process of the business reservation of both the customer and the company. The goals of the project is a propose online reservation system that will be accessed and ST system in a reservation to resolving this problem. The customer will be able to make a reservation online thanks to the integration for the internet into this reservation system. Next is a problem statement. So the problem statement we divide two. First is into issue with the manual system. The the start as the study suggests, chain transport has an issue with the manual system. Information management is a dissociation and the non-systematic. Next is a conflicting reservation schedule. Missing the record and a conflicting reservation schedule occur as a result of the working fairly into the proper record the information in the logbook as a request. Next is a objective. First objective is to develop the full functional reservation system. That proposed is analyzed and developed as a full functional reservation system to make easy the manage of the reservation. As the testing on the function of the target user. The testing involves using the use the case to produce a good working software. Next is a review of the lecture. The reservation is an engagement in which something practically a seat or a room is reserved for a specialist a person, or is a expansion of the double qualitative the overall of oval of the plane or the segment from the offered the dictionary. Then the technology user today a reservation are made use a system known as the computer reservation system or create a reservation system. Then a reservation system is a computer system that retrieval and the store reservation data. The history of reservation system date back to 1948 when George Summers instead the first automotive book system of the American airline, which is Dunkel G and James L. From the 1988. that the automatic booking system is a begin and value will be used in the reality of the situation. And then the hotel and tourist uh, is two the examples.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. My name is Mukhtar Abdul Karim Sani, and I'm going to proceed with methodology. So as we all know, we have a couple of methodologies that we use in system development. So for this project specifically, we have decided to use waterfall model. The waterfall model is well structured and it makes things simpler to track progress by referring to clearly defined milestones. So we are going to use a waterfall model in the throughout the project. So what are the requirements for the project? So during this phase, a project timeline was created to set the flow of the system development. As usual, the first step is, according to the Gantt chart, is to identify the project scope. So the first thing that we have did is to identify what are the scope for this project. So for the design, we have pipeline interfaces for design based on the requirement that we have defined in this space. So the home page, the login page, the registration page, reservation page, and the roster page are the design that we focused on. For the implementation, the project has been implemented using the PHP programming language and MySQL respectively. So we use PHP to develop the system because it's easier to use and it can perform a lot of tasks. For the MySQL, we use it to store the database or to deal with the data. Also, we have verification. So for verification, in order to ensure the system is doing what it has to do, we have used alpha testing to carry out by granting access to the system's owner, employee, and customers. And then we distribute a questionnaire to gather feedback about the system. Now we move to maintenance phase. In maintenance, we have, as you remember, we have distributed a questionnaire. So we are going to use the questionnaire that we have distributed to verify the pace that will be addressed during the maintenance phases. So these are the following software and hardware that we have used or that are used to access and to develop the system. So for the software, we have used Uthm. Uthm is a page system server where we have developed the system using PHP and also MySQL. Figma is a design tool that is used to develop a US/UI, that is user interface and user experience. So we have used it to design the whole system. And Adobe Photoshop is used to edit photos that we have used in the system. And Visual Code Studio is where we have used to write the code. And then browser, we use browsers, Chrome and Brave browsers to test the system and to do some other stuff related to the project. So the hardware of the system doesn't require fancy hardware. So the system is compatible with personal computer and desktop computer with internet connections only. So that's all we need from here. So now the system analysis and design. As we know, we have already choose a waterfall model to design the system. So the system requirement analysis, we have system requirement and then we have user requirements. So we have to gather requirement for the system, what the system requires and what the user requires. So this is for system requirement is the description of properties, the process to understand the manual system and analyze the movement and developing the web-based system of the reservation system. For the user requirement, the function of proposed system, what the user has to do. So the user has to log onto the system in order to proceed with the reservation. And then we have system design, where we design the data diagram, which include the flowchart diagram, context diagram, data flow diagram, and the entity relationship diagram, where also interface design include the actual design of the system. So here we have flowchart for admin So as we know, flowchart is a graphical representation of steps required to perform a specific task. So admin, that means the super admin, has a related task that has to perform. So for flowchart, as usual, we have list all shapes, different type of shapes which indicate different activities. We have this icon which start with this shape, which stand for start and end. We can see here and here. Also, we have this which stand for process, as we can see here, login, and then this is for decision making. When the user supply information, username and password, we have to check to see whether the information supplied is valid. So if the information supplied, then we proceed to home page, that is the dashboard. And if the information supplied is not valid, then we return back to the login page and show error method to the user. So the same thing applied to all of the processes that we have here, and which we can see a lot of them in the context diagram and the data flow diagram. So this is also for the customer, the flow chart, also the list of tasks for the user to perform. So first we need to identify if the user is new, then he has to register with the system. So this is a process also of functionality of registration. So the user has to register if he is new. But if the user is existing, then he has to log in. And if he supply valid details, then he have to, the main page has been shown to him. And then if you want to make reservation, he can do. And also the same thing with all the processes that we have here. Also, this is for employee. For employee is pretty different with the others. First, he has to log in. If you supply valid details, then he can proceed. If you intend to view worker information, then he can display the customer information and he can update the information of the worker also, and he can view the roster of the work, and he can display and he can print the roster. So he can also log out to the system. So this is also flowchart for the employee, that is a worker. So now we move to context diagram. As we can see, the context diagram is a list of all the processes and functionalities of the system. So level 0, we can see that we have a reservation system. Admin, there are a list of tasks that are related to admin. So admin can fetch information, list of reservation from the system. It can fetch reservation schedule, can approve reservation, it can view worker information or can add worker information to the system, can view reservation report, can view worker report information, and can view vehicle and add vehicle information. It can add and update worker roster. For customer can register with the system, and his information, new information can be retrieved from the system. Also, the reservation data can be added and also retrieved, and then report reservation and then payment. Also for worker, we can withdraw and improve his information, to add his information there directly. So this is a data flow diagram for level 0. For that, we have update information, update customer information by the user can update his information from the database. This is a customer. This is a process of user, and this is a customer database. This is for worker, and this is for admin. Reservation database and payment, vehicle database and worker database. So this involves inserting customer information, updating customer information, making reservation, updating the reservation, approving and disapproving the reservation by admin, then viewing the reservation information by the worker, and then printing and generating report. So this all this level 0 is about. Then we have level 1 process 2.0, which involves add new information, deleting worker information and updating worker information. Also, we have data flow diagram for process 4, which involve adding new vehicle, deleting worker information, and then updating vehicle information. This is vehicle database, and this process has been done by admin. Okay, this is also a data diagram level 1 process 5.0. Also the same thing like the previous ones. So now we move to entity relationship diagram. As usual, we have customer information, which we have customer ID as the primary key, and the list name, email, password, IC, and phone number, date of birth, gender, address as the other keys that we have in the customer information table. So this is one to many. I mean, customer can make many reservation. So reservation ID, reservation date, place, customer ID as primary key and a foreign key. Reservation ID is a primary key. Also, vehicle plate number is a primary foreign key also. So this is one to or many to many. So we have vehicle info plate number as a primary key. For worker information, we have worker as the foreign key, and then vehicle plate number as a primary foreign key. And for the payment, we have payment reference number as the primary key, and then reservation ID as the foreign key. Meaning, customer can make a reservation, and customer can pay for the reservation. For a customer to reserve, we have to know what the vehicle the customer reserved. So all this information are related together. So now we move to interface design. For the interface design, we show all the navigations and how we organize the content of the system. So first, we have organized it into three levels or divisions. We have the header, which consists of Shan Transport logo, navigation area, and then login form. And then here we have the vehicle information and description and the ability for user to make reservation. And then we have footer. And also other pages like for the admin panel, the information that like reports and everything is being shown like this. And also for the login, and then the login form is being shown here. And all this is throughout the website. This is the interface design that we have taken. And then we have another interface design. This is just to make a display of registration, the same thing just like before. And then we have the footer like this. So now we move to data dictionary, where we have consists of information for 9 entities here. We have customer ID, which is integer, customer name, which is text, then customer email float, customer password, and DH or B float like this. So we have different sizes. For the integer, it has less size than the text and the float. So for vehicle data information, we have vehicle plate number as float, then capacity of the vehicle as a text, which has 50 size, and vehicle rate integer, which is 50 because this is the rate of vehicle per hour. The price, vehicle brand, that is the company, so that is 20, and then the image. This normally is a file or something like that. And then we have data for reservation, which include reservation ID primary key, reservation date, which is a date, and we have reservation place, float, and time, which is time. Data type is time, and customer ID is text or integer, which has ID of the user, billing address, shipping goods, kilo and cost, and vehicle plate number as integer and text respectively. So this is all from me. Now I pass to Reza to continue with implementation. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Muhammad Rashid Reza. Now I am going to talk about the implementation phase of our design. The primary goal of the implementation phase is to ensure that the Chan transport system was developed in accordance with the system analysis and design phase. The system employs the programming language PHP, HTML, and JavaScript. The implementation for the modules will be defined in following section using partial codes. This is the home page of our system, where user can view the list of vehicles and make reservations according to their preferred date and destination. This is the login page for both users and admins. This is the registration for page. This is the registration for those who did not register with their credential before. This is the admin dashboard, where all the inventory details, reservations and schedules are managed. This is the vehicle module, where admin can edit, delete or add a new vehicle. This is the add new car or new bus module, where only admin can add their bus or car in their service. In this page we can see this is the reservation listing module. All recent reservations are shown here along with the availability, customer ID and amount. This is the reservation schedule list view. Actually, from this page admin can see the schedule of their reserved or in-service bus or cars. That's all in the implementation design section. Now I am transferring to my friend Amirul Aiman.
For the next part, we will be talking about testing. System testing has two types, which are functional testing and user acceptance testing. For the first one, test plan for login module. For test case number 1, enter correct username and password with correct user type. The output come out as expected and link to the user home interface, which is login successful. Test case number 2, enter the username or password with the correct user type. The output come out as expected, which is appear a pop-up window with message, please insert username and password. For the third test case for login module, enter either wrong username and wrong password with correct user type. The output also come out as expected, which is appear a pop-up window with message, your username and password are invalid. And for the last test case for login module, enter correct username and password with incorrect user type. The output come out as expected, which is appear a pop-up window with message, your username and password are invalid. Next is test for registration module. The first test case is insert all the required information for registration. The output come out as expected, which is registration success. For the second test case, leave field blank with no information on it. Output come out as expected as well, which is please fill in the field. For the third test case, identification number contain alphabet or symbol. The output come out as expected, which is please insert numeric only in contact number. For test case number 4, contact number contain alphabetic or symbol. The output come out as expected, which is please insert numeric only in contact number. For the last test case for registration module, which is invalid email, the output also come out as expected, which is please include a symbol in email address, please enter a part following at symbol. After that, test plan for contact us in function. The first test case is insert all the required information for registration. The output come out as expected, which is email successfully sent. The second test case, leave field blank with no information on it. Output come out as expected as well, which is please fill in this field. the next test plan, which is test plan for search module. For test case number 1, exact the ID and name of the customer. The output come out as expected, which is display search information. Number 2, insert keyword of customer name. The output come out as expected, which is display searching information. For number 3, leave the text are empty. The output come out as expected, display all customer information. For test case number 4, insert wrong name or ID of customer. The output come out as expected, which is not display any information. Continue for the next one, which is test plan insert, update and delete information. For the first test case, admin click on the manage button according to specific vehicle. The output come out as expected, which is the vehicle information form will be displayed. For the second test case, admin click on the delete button according to specific vehicle. The output come out as expected. Pop-up window alert with message, are you sure you want to delete this vehicle? For the test case number 3, admin click on the insert new vehicle button. A page of insert new vehicle form will be displayed. For the test case number 4, admin click on the manage button according to specific worker. The output come out as expected, which is the worker information form will be displayed. For the test case number 5, admin click on the delete button according to specific worker. Pop-up window alert with message, are you sure you want to delete this worker, come out. For the test case number 6, admin click on the insert new worker button. A page of insert new worker will be displayed. For test case number 7, customer click on the edit button to edit person information, and the output come with the personal information of the customer. For the test case number 8, worker clicks on the edit button to edit person information, and the worker person information form are displayed. Next one, we will continue for the test plan for printing function. For the test case number 1, admin and customer click on the print button to print the reservation roster. A pop-up printing window displaying the accurate reservation information come out. For the test case number 2, admin and worker click on the print button to print reservation roster. Pop-up printing window display the accurate reservation roster come out. And the test case number 3, admin click on the print button to print reservation schedule. Pop-up printing window display the accurate reservation information pop-up. For test plan to approve function, test case number 1, admin select approve from reservation status and click on submit button. The output come with the reservation status change to approve. For test case number 2, admin select approve from reservation status and click on submit button. The output come out as expected, which is the reservation status will change to reject. This table shows the test plan for reservation schedule module. For test case number 1, admin click on the date which is have reservation. A pop-up window display the reservation schedule on the selected date. For test case number 2, admin click on the date which have no reservation. A pop-up window alert with message no reservation schedule on this day come out. And for the last one, test plan for make reservation. For test case number 1, customer click on the vehicle they want to reserve. The output come out as expected, which is reservation calendar for selected vehicle will display. For test case number 2, customer click on the green color date after current date to reserve. The output show page for making reservation with 2 available time will be displayed. For test case number 3, customer click on the yellow date after current date to reserve. A page for making reservation with the remaining times display. Test case number 4, customer click on the red date after current date to reserve. The output come out as expected, which is the customer unable to click on the data on the date. For test case number 5, customer click on the previous date to reserve. A pop-up window will alert message, please choose date after today. Come on. Okay, now we move on to the next type of testing, which is user acceptance testing. This testing is performed to ensure that the bird system meets the need and criteria of the client. This user acceptability test involves 10 users, 1 administrator, 4 workers and 5 customers. For the first one, this chart displaying overall user acceptance testing. This chart shows that majority of the customer choose 5, 4 or 3. There is no customer choose 2 or 1, meaning that the customer is satisfied with the system. The next chart shows evaluation for admin. As you can see, for the every type of function, majority choose either 5 or 4, meaning that the system runs smoothly. For the worker evaluation, we also can see the same come up, which majority choose either 5 or 4, meaning that the system also runs smoothly. For discharge, we can see the evaluation for customer. The chart shows that majority of the options are 5, 4 or sometimes 3. This shows that the system runs has little to no problem.
Conclusion, chain transport system was an online platform for the all user to reserve the vehicle in a chain transport company. The proposed system have be successful and achieve in a project objective within the scope as started early. Reference. Lastly, thank you very much to all my friend and Uthm too. And then that's all for our group.